Have you ever found yourself, wishing you were something else? Or maybe someone else entirely? Not just for a quick second, but really properly imagining a whole different existence. It's a feeling we all get, right? That little spark, that what if. Well, today we're doing a deep dive into exactly those kinds of human desires, and we're going to do it through the lens of a really captivating poem. It's called If Only I Were by the internationally acclaimed poet Shanta Acharya.
Right. And our mission today, you could say, is to really unpack this beautiful poem. We'll dig into its layers, the amazing imagery, all that nature, but also the profound human hopes it touches on. We want to see what it tells us about finding inspiration, in the world around us. And luckily, our source material gives us some great background on the poet herself, plus definitions for a few tricky words, which is helpful.
Okay, perfect. Let's unpack this then. So the poem kicks off with this incredible journey, doesn't it, through the natural world. The speaker starts wishing they could embody these elements of nature, sometimes in grand ways, sometimes, but quite subtly, like that very first image, the chameleon wind blowing over the rugged ranges of the Himalayas. Wow, that really sets a tone.
It absolutely does. And what's so striking about chameleon wind is, well, it's this idea of embodying pure adaptability, always changing, always flowing across that really tough, wild Himalayan landscape. It's not just about being vast. It's about, adapting to the world's rough edges.
Yeah, exactly. And the nature imagery just keeps coming, painting these incredibly different pictures. You get wishes like a tree in full regalia of autumn on a peacock blue lake in Vermont, or a bee upon a raft of sunlight in the gardens of this nurturing earth. And even goes underwater, a coral formation along the Great Barrier Reef.
And regalia, that word, really captures the richness, doesn't it? Like royal clothing for the autumn leaves and a raft of sunlight. That's such a peaceful image for the little bee. Taken together, these wishes show this yearning to be part of these amazing ecosystems, whether it's the bright flash of autumn or the hidden world of the reef or just the simple life of a bee. It feels like a wish for just fitting in effortlessly within nature.
Okay, so from the earth, the poem then really stretches out. It leaps into the cosmic and also into culture. This next wish feels huge. The robe of the night sky filigreed with stars. What does it mean, do you think, to wish to be something that vast, decorated with light? Filigreed, meaning decorated here.
It's profound, isn't it? I mean, it's more than just wanting to be grand. It feels like an insight into wanting to belong universally, like a connection to something absolute boundless. Maybe the core idea here is wanting to find your place, even in the infinite, being part of that huge cosmic picture.
And then there's a very specific cultural wish, quite different. A jugalbandi raga at dawn of sitar and Chennai, sarangi and tabla.
Right, and jugalbandi, that's Urdu for a duet. And raga is Hindi for a musical piece. So wishing to be this complex, harmonious musical form that really speaks to wanting unity, cultural richness. It's about being part of something beautiful that comes from collaboration, from art shared together, a kind of perfect harmony.
Then the poem sort of zooms back in a bit to something more solitary, but still really impactful in nature. A wildflower greeting the weary explorer in some forgotten desert.
Yeah, weary meaning tired, exhausted. This line, it speaks volumes about resilience, doesn't it? That tiny flower offering this quiet comfort in such a harsh place. It's about strength in unexpected places, maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe being that source of comfort yourself.
And then, okay, after all these wishes to be something else, the poem takes this sudden, sharp turn. It almost redefines everything that came before it, the speaker says. A rainbow poised over the Iguacu Falls, chanting, "Make me always the same as I am now." Poised, meaning positioned. This is, well, it's a really powerful moment.
It really is. A huge shift. After wanting to be Wayne, stars, music, the speaker suddenly wants to just be perfectly still, perfectly positioned, like that rainbow in that exact moment. The insight here feels like it's about finding contentment, suddenly wanting permanence instead of change. It's like a moment of just radical self-acceptance, realizing maybe fulfillment isn't about becoming something else.
So following that moment of acceptance, the poem then turns completely towards humanity. The desires become about service, about connection, really compassionate wishes like, if only I were Mother Teresa's eyes watching over a sick, sleeping child. And a dream come true in the warm smiles of all the children in our world.
These lines are incredibly moving. They show this deep desire for empathy, for healing, for wanting joy on a huge scale. It's about imagining having a direct positive impact, especially on those who are vulnerable. It shows this profound sense of care.
Yeah, and that caring perspective continues. There are other human-focused wishes, too. The healing hands of a surgeon, the defense of innocent folk.
These ones emphasize wanting to embody skill, protection, the ability to directly ease suffering. It's about wanting to be an active force for good, using your talents to mend and shield others.
And the list wraps up with these really fundamental human experiences. First, intimate connection, the biting, trusting grip of a newborn child at the mother's breast, and then intellectual legacy, the voices of poets, thinkers, artists, the words of inspiration in the struggle of our daily lives.
Yeah, those final ones cover so much ground. That primal, essential bond of new life, and then the lasting power of ideas, of art, of words, how thought and creativity can actually guide us, inspire us through the everyday struggles. It's both basic human connection and lasting influence.
So, okay, we followed this incredible journey through all these different wishes. What's the takeaway? What does it all add up to? The poem actually tells us, quite directly, right after those human wishes. It says, "'Tis better to be inspired by the greatness we see in others than merely wishing we were like them."
That really is the heart of it, isn't it? It's how the poet pivots from this playful, almost whimsical exploration of what if to this really quite deep philosophical point at the end. It suggests that, yeah, imagining being other things can broaden our view, help us see what we admire. But real growth, that comes from taking inspiration from the good qualities we see, the actions people take, rather than just wishing we could swap places with them. It sort of flips that initial question about wanting to be someone else, doesn't it? Turns it into a path for improving ourselves by learning from others.
That makes sense. So let's talk for a moment about the person who wrote this, the mind behind these ideas. Who is Shanta Acharya?
Right, Shanta Acharya. She was born back in 1953 in Orissa, which is now called Odisha in India. She's an internationally recognized poet. She actually got a scholarship to Oxford, did her doctorate there. And she's been living and working in London since about 1985. Her work, poems, articles, reviews, you can find them in major publications all over the world. She's got 5 poetry collections out, and also a novel called A World Elsewhere. You can really see how her diverse background, her deep involvement in literature, informs the poem's massive range of perspectives.
Absolutely. So we've journeyed through this poem's amazing range of wishes, starting in nature, reaching for the cosmos, touching on culture, and landing right in the heart of human connection and action.
And we end up with that really powerful, quite universal insight, the difference between just wishing you were something else
Yeah.
and actually being inspired by the good things, the great things we see around us. It's a subtle shift, but a crucial one.
So thinking about that final point, and given the incredible variety of things the poet wished she could be, maybe something for you to think about is, what specific quality or maybe an action from someone you admire truly inspires you? Not in a way that makes you wish you were them, but in a way that makes you want to grow yourself. How could noticing that actually shape your own path, maybe starting today?